You know you're a weeb when you do Levi's holding of teacups and mugs subconsciously. Hi everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku, and today's video is not rearranging these fucks, though in the next 2 days I will have to rearrange these fucks. This video is kind of on a whim, especially because in a few hours, as of recording this video, I will be going back to school. University. I had my first class this morning, but it is early morning and I slept through all of yesterday, so I'm awake. But yes, today's video is a interesting one, to say the least. So today's video is anime characters that I kin, that I simp for, or that are my comfort characters. Why? Because I just wanted to drop a kin list, why not? And yeah, so that's what today's video is. I'll explain each and every sort of section as we get to them. And yeah, so let's get to it with the start of the list, that being who I kin. We're going to start with the characters that through the course of time of me being like a weeb or into fandom, what characters it is that I kin. What is kin? Well, everyone has a different sort of what's the word? Definition for kin. Personally for me, someone who kins a character is someone who can heavily relate to that character or feels some sort of closeness to that character in either physical traits or like personality traits, ability, etc. So starting off my kin list is actually this TikTok that I made quite a while ago. Yeah, I made it like at the start of 2020. Oh my god, that was a long time ago. But yes, that is like the first 6 characters that I kin, that being Makoto Tachibana from Free, Sunoko from the Wallflower, and if you have not watched the Wallflower, I would highly suggest it if you're into romance anime. But yes, I would highly suggest watching the J-drama as well if you want to watch the anime, because I personally really loved the J-drama more than the actual anime itself. My next kins were Grell Sutcliffe and Kirishima Ejiro, Grell being from Black Butler and Kirishima being from My Hero Academia, and then of course Sailor Jupiter being one of my kins as well. And at that time those were my current kins. So why are each of them sort of my kins? Makoto Tachibana, as much as I love Rin Matsuoka, who is my favourite character from the anime, I feel a lot more on par with Makoto Tachibana, and this is going to be the same reasoning for all of them. I just feel like I have more personality based towards Makoto. He's a bit of a himbo, but he's also really smart at the same time. That's the kind of vibe that I feel like I radiate. Kind of. Anyway, so Sunoko, if you've seen the Wallflower, you would know that Sunoko is a shut-in type character, and the character of Sunoko is really into like creepy type stuff and horror. She's also super into like death and like staying in the dark, and one thing that like she struggles with is like being around people, especially people who she finds shiny or sparkling, or just people who are too beautiful, etc. That kind of shyness and attraction to like creepy things, like it's not creepy cute things, it's just creepy things. Those are the kinds of things that I associate with myself, especially the shyness aspect and the anxiety kind of aspect. But yeah, then Grail Sutcliffe, I have a flair for the artistic, for the dramatic. Thus my name, the Dramatic Otaku, which if you didn't know, was derived from the fact that I was a drama geek. I did drama for 6 years in high school, did try to do it in university and then sort of fell out of love with it because of my university professor. So yeah, that was the initial reason for the dramatic otaku instead of just something otaku or the Australian otaku or something like that. I wanted my channel to initially be part of like theatrical as well as part weeb, but that didn't end up happening and it just ended up being full weeb. So the reason why I like kin Grail Sutcliffe is because of Grail's undying like theatrics. Undying. Grail has kind of a macabre sort of humour. The way Grail presents themselves when revealing like that Grail loves the colour red, that they've got a flair for like the theatrics. I absolutely loved it and I just felt so very close to that character specifically because of their over-dramaticness and their like creativeness. So yes, that is the reason why I kin Grail kin? I don't know, I don't really know my kins right now. For Grail Sutcliffe. Kirishima Eijiro. So Kirishima, it's more of a comfort character that I kind of align myself with. Essentially, the reasoning I kin Kirishima is the exact same reasoning I kin Makoto Tachibana, minus the like scaredy cat kind of side and the part where he's really smart. But Kirishima is sort of the character that is really friendly and really passionate about what he does, and those are traits that I really want. He's able to be friends with anyone, even the most calloused of people. It's attributes in him that I want for myself, essentially, that makes me want to kin Kirishima Eijiro. So this one's probably out of the scale of Kinny, most like Sumiko and Grail, least like Kirishima. Makoto's in the middle. The next one is Sailor Jupiter. Now, Sailor Jupiter, this one's more of a looks-based thing, and a hopeless romantic type thing. In the initial 90s run of the anime, Sailor Jupiter, I did find her character actually somewhat annoying at first, but then found myself actually relating to her character a lot. Strong, independent character who, despite her outsides, is like really girly, really wholesome, really wants to find love. The way they portray it in a really strange way, but a lot of it's cosmetic reasoning why I think I kin Sailor Jupiter, but some of it's a trait that she has that I find in myself. A little bit. Kind of. I forgot to actually record a section on Yamaguchi, but the reason why I kin Yamaguchi is because of his character arc. And if you didn't know, he has a character arc where he feels absolutely fucking useless and then ends up being one of the main players that helps Karasuno win a game. And that character arc I've actually experienced in my own life at some point, so I feel really close to the character in that sense. There's also fanon reasons as to why I like Yamaguchi, but the main reason is for his plot arc, and he's just my favourite character from the show. Okay, next on my kin list, and this is a recent kin. Shinogu from Demon Slayer. Now, I fucking love Shinogu. I don't love Shinogu as much as another character in Demon Slayer, but she is a character that I feel like I can relate to. She, on the outside, seems very kind, caring. She's very caring, but she seems very kind, wholesome, very sweet and very dainty. And the thing is, she's not. She's quite rough, gives a lot of backhanded comments to like Gyu and some of the other characters. She's very strong, she's very hard-headed, she's a very smart type character, and I feel like with her attitude towards certain people, like being very kind on the outside but also being a bit of a bitch. I feel like I heavily relate to Shinobu in that front. I figured me and Shinobu are quite similar in attitude-wise, and that's why she's kind of one of my kins. The next one is also from My Hero Academia, that is Suyu Asi. Now, Suyu, I think the main reason I kin her, again, usually the characters that I cosplay are ones that I feel like a great connection to, and usually are the ones that I kin. The main reason why I kin her is very similar to Shinobu. She has a sort of trait that I can't really pin down that reminds me of stuff that I do in forms of attitude, especially when like it comes to Mineta. She's like, I will not hesitate, bitch. But that might more be a fanon thing. That's the thing with kins as well, is some of the reasons you kin certain characters is more for a fanon reason than a canon reason, or is the way you interpret said character. And the way that I interpret Suyu's character is very similar to how I interpret Shinobu's character. So that's why they're sort of on my kin list in the same sort of vein. My next kin is Ishigami Yu from Kaguya-sama Lovers War. This is a very thick volume.
While I predominantly kin Ishigami for his introvertedness and his otaku-ness, Ishigami is more so a character that I kin because of actions that he's done. It's more so he's my favourite character and he's really fucking funny, so I low-key kin this character and he's low-key super relatable. That's essentially why I kin him. I didn't explain it very well in my video, so you're getting this crappy audio.
The next one is Poison Ivy. This one's more so I've felt really connected to this character because the first time I ever performed with this character, because I did originally start my cosplay as a character instead of a cosplay for a performance. My main kinning for Poison Ivy is mainly because of my long history with the character in terms of like me performing as the character and cosplaying the character and stuff like that, and I feel a very strong connection to this character for those reasons. I'm not a huge DC fan, but when it comes to the villains, Poison Ivy is one of my favourites. I love her character. She's really sassy, at least in some of the iterations. She's really, really sassy, and I love her for it. And yeah, this one is mainly a cosplay reason. Me just cosplaying the character for the first time and then wanting to cosplay her more and more and more because I felt really, really awesome when cosplaying her and acting as her the first time. The next character is Kenma because of the same reasons as Ishigami. Yeah, it's another case of I'm a really kind of shy person. He's a bit of an otaku, just that kind of dealio with Kenma. It's very similar to Ishigami. So moving on is Harahi Fujiyoka from High School Host Club. Now, Harahi is a character that I felt I related to on a visual level as well as a just kind of values kind of level and just character level. Again, much better in the manga than the anime. Just Haruhi's growth and independence as a character, especially in the manga, is something that made me very, very close to this character, and as well as Ouran High School Host Club being one of the first anime that I fully watched and was very, very into.
Okay, so I'm putting these two characters together because they're not only from the same series, but I actually like them for the same reasons. It is because they not only do I like them for a more visual kind of sense, because I feel like I look more like them, but it's also because of the way they act. And in my initial recording, I came up with the fact that I actually like Hanji and Sasha because Hanji is a more idealized version of what I see myself as, whereas Sasha is probably the more accurate version of myself, despite it still being a little more idealized. And so with Sasha and Hanji, I see myself in both characters. It's just Hanji is the more, like, especially in season 1, Hanji is definitely the more idealized version that I want to see myself, whereas Sasha is probably the more accurate version that I see myself, even though they are both very chaotic characters. And that's another reason why I kin these characters, because they're so fucking chaotic. And yes, as of season 4, my heart has been wrenched out by these two characters. Thank you very much. But yes, putting it in the most simplest of terms, I kin these two characters because of their visual looks, as I find myself in these two characters visually, as well as finding myself in these two characters personality-wise. It's just that Hanji is a more idealized version of myself that I wish to be, and Sasha is what I more realistically, as of season 1. I cannot stress that enough, as of season 1.
Last kin, and I can't believe I forgot this when I put down Grell Sutcliffe, my last kin is Mayrin from Black Butler, and that's because I'm an absolute klutz when it gets down to it. Like, the way that she acts when she's with her friends versus when she has to be on the job and all that stuff, I just felt her character very strongly. And yeah, again, this is like a Sasha Hanji thing. Grell is the idealized version of like what I want to be mentally, and Mayrin is the more accurate version of what I am. So Grell is kind of my mentality, and Mayrin is sort of my like physicality and how I actually act in situations. And yes, obviously the klutziness is also a huge part of why I kin her as well. That's the kind of dealio I've got going on with Mayrin and Grell. And we are now going to be speed running the simplest. First tier is characters that I am simping because they're hot. Second tier is characters that I want to be romanced by. I want to go on a cute fucking date. The third tier is characters that I just find really fucking funny and will die for, point blank. Okay, starting with the first tier. Who do I simp because they're fucking hot? Also because of their personality, but mainly because they're fucking hot. Rin Matsuoka, Mitsuri Kanroji, Midnight, Tengen's Wives, Yata from Noragami, Loki Kurotetsura. Also on that list, Hanji Zoe. Is that Levi? Obviously he was my first anime crush. Eren as of season 4 and Jean as of season 4 because damn. Okay, next is characters on my simplest that I would love to be romanced by. This also does include Kuro and Yoichi Tanaka from Our Haru Ride. That's really it. Tanaka from Haikyuu. Yes. And the last level is simplest characters that I love and would fucking die for. These are like my top tier favorite comfort characters. And a lot of them I've already said that are on the simplest, like Rin, Mitsuri, Midnight, all of those fucks. However, these are the ones that I would just point blank die for. First of all, we've got Murao from Our Haru Ride, then we've got Yamaguchi Tadashi, obviously, Mori from Ouran High School Host Club. Why wouldn't I let him romance me? Because I'm stupid, that's why. And I forgot to add him. Next is Nakoto Yuki-chan, because I love her. And next is the queen, Sydney from Animal Crossing. And then is Sero from My Hero Academia. Then Inosuke from Demon Slayer, because I love Inosuke. And then I'm also going to put Tanaka down here as well, Tanaka from Haikyuu, because I love Tanaka so much, yes. That was my simplest. But yeah, we're going to continue on to comfort characters. This one's going to be a bit short as well. I might delve into why certain characters are my comfort characters. This also does include Dream SMP streamers as my comfort streamers. But yes, so what is a comfort character or a comfort streamer? This is a character that, personally to me, is someone who I feel like a great connection to, or like I love this character so much. They're my favorite character from this anime, or from like this series, or for a certain reason I love this character so much. And it's the same with comfort streamers. It's a streamer that you continuously go to their streams for. So you'll see like a pattern as to what characters I choose for my comfort characters. So starting off the list is Grell, Rin, and Kirishima, my 3 Sharky peeps. Red Sharky peeps. These guys are like my favorite characters. Then is Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Mercury. Sailor Mercury is one of my best girls. If you see my computer here, you can see that I have Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Mercury, and Sailor Mercury is covering the Apple logo. I think Sailor Mercury is so cute, and she actually reminds me of one of my friends, so that's why she is one of my comfort characters. So Suyu Asui from My Hero Academia, Chika from Kaguya-sama Loves All. Next are comfort streamers from the Dream SMP. Their characters are also my comfort characters, however I'm more just afflicted to just say comfort streamers. So that being Phil's of Minecraft, Rambo, and Carl Jacobs. I could also put Tubbo and Tommy on there, but Tubbo, Tommy, and Lola. But I'm more likely to pick Phil's stream or Rambo's stream or Carl's stream out of anyone else's. Speaking of Rambo, as of recording this, it is the day after MCC, and dude, I am so proud of Rambo. Like, what? He had one of the best fucking like MCC debuts. I swear to God, like that MCC was so awesome. I am disappointed that Rambo didn't make it to like the dodgeball, but I figured that the last game would kind of throw it out of their favor, as it does a lot with the top teams. It's usually the last game that fucks up for everyone. But yeah, I'm just so proud of Rambo, dude. I need to watch Phil's perspective because I was originally going to watch Phil's perspective. That's why they're on my comfort character list. But because I've heard Rambo was gonna play in MCC, I went and watched Rambo's perspective, and I was not let down. It was pretty fucking awesome. Comfort characters: Poison Ivy and Raven for DC characters that are my comfort characters. Magot for Haikyuu, Yamaguchi Tadashi, Kenma Koizumi, and Kuro Tetsuro. Then is Naoto Yuki-chan, Tanaka from Haikyuu as well. I missed him because I fucking love Tanaka. He's comedy genius.
So I lost this footage while editing. From Free, my 4 favorite comfort characters are Makoto Tachibana, Rin Matsuoka, Dagisa, and Rei. From Demon Slayer, Inosuke is my main comfort character, and Armin, Mikasa, and Historia are comfort characters from Attack on Titan, as well as Hanji and Sasha.
And then finally, to round off this list, is Kaoru from Ouran High School Host Club. Yes, his dynamic with Hikaru is super fucking weird and just not my style, but if you read the manga, Kaoru in the manga is my favorite character aside from like Haruhi. And then like in third comes Mori Senpai. So yeah, that was my comfort characters, my characters that I simp in a romantic and friendly way and in a I want to fuck kind of way, and my kin list, characters that I feel a very strong connection to, that I feel like I am either like, whether it be physically, personality wise, or traits that I really want from that character. So thank you for like listening to me gush about my favorite characters. I know it was mainly just the kin list than the other 2 lists, but I didn't really think the comfort or simp lists really needed some explanation. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time. I will link where I got my earrings down in the description down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye!
I have decided Kenny, Shoto Todoroki, because I too have daddy issues, look good in a turtleneck, and crush hands.